What is the greatest fear you carry right now? The fear of not being enough, of losing what you love, of death itself. What if all of it dissolved in an instant? Not because of years of practice, not because of a retreat or a guru or a breakthrough moment in meditation, but because you died and came back. Thousands of people have. And what they bring back with them every single time is not what most people expect. Stay with me. We live in a world that's terrified of death. We don't talk about it. We don't look at it. We outsource it to hospitals and hide it behind closed doors. And yet, right now, scientists, researchers, and neuroscientists across the world are studying people who have been to the edge of death and returned. Some were in cardiac arrest, some were in accidents, some were on the operating table, clinically gone, and then somehow came back. And here is what's extraordinary. Across different cultures, ages, beliefs, and backgrounds, near death experiences follow a surprisingly recognizable pattern. Hindu, Christian, Muslim, atheist, it doesn't matter. The story they tell is almost always the same. So, what's that story? They describe leaving the body, watching it from above, a kind of peace that's not like any peace they had ever known on earth. A light, not blinding, but welcoming, almost like being held. Many people describe a profound sense of peace, well being, or unconditional love that exceeds everything they had ever experienced in life. And then a review. Their entire life, not as a judgment, but as a witnessing. Every moment, every kindness, every time they caused pain, felt from the other side, seen with perfect compassion. And then a question, not asked in words, but felt completely. Did you love? Did you love well? Not how much did you earn, not how many followers did you have on social media, not how many likes and comments did you get, not how many awards did you grab, not were you successful, not did you make enough money, just did you love? Many experiencers report being told that the purpose of life is to experience and learn lessons. But underlying everything, the most important thing is love. Not just for those closest to us, but for all living beings. Let that land for a moment. Now, here is the thing that most people don't expect. The biggest shift near death experience survivors report, the one that researchers keep documenting again and again, is not that they saw heaven. It's not that they met God, though many describe exactly that. The biggest shift is that they stopped being afraid. In one study, 80% of people who had NDEs reported a decreased fear of death. In another study of cardiac arrest patients, 82% reported less fear of death compared to just 2% of them who had a near-death event without an NDE. In one Australian study of 50 people, every single participant reported no fear of death after their NDE. Every single one. And it's not just the fear of death that drops away. They stop being afraid of life. A review of 30 years of NDE research found the most commonly reported changes to include loss of fear of death, a new sense of purpose or mission, heightened self-esteem, and increased compassion for others. They become more patient, more generous, less interested in status, money, appearance, more interested in connection. They come back and they are done performing. So this is what I want to sit with you in just for a moment. Why does brushing up against death make people more alive? Why does crossing that threshold, even briefly, dissolve fear so completely? I think the answer is this. When you touch the deepest layer of existence, when the noise of the mind, the identity, the roles we play, all of it falls away, what remains is not emptiness. What remains is love. Not love as an emotion, not love as something you feel when things go your way, but love as the ground of everything, the fabric, the source. Researchers note a common thread across near death experiences and mystical states, a profound, deep sense that all is love and that consciousness itself is love. The mystics have been saying this for thousands of years. The Upanishads speak of it. The great saints, sages wrote about it. And now, through the lens of modern science and researchers and data that we have collected over decades, people who were clinically dead are coming back and saying, yes, that's what's real. That's what's underneath everything. Now, the good news is that you don't have to die to touch this, but it does ask something of you. It asks you to consider, what if the thing you are most afraid of losing is not actually what you think it is? What if underneath the fear, underneath the grief, underneath the doing and striving, there is something in you that already knows what those NDE survivors came back knowing? What if the love they found on the other side is the same love that's already living inside you right now? Not somewhere you have to earn your way to, not a reward for being good enough or spiritual enough, just here, waiting for you to be still enough to feel it. Thousands of people across the world have stood at the edge of death and come back with the same message. Love is not one thing among many things. Love is the only thing. And the life you're living right now, every difficult moment of it, every relationship, every loss, every ordinary Mondays and Tuesdays is a chance to practice that, to choose that. The mystics call it coming home. The NDE survivors call it remembering. I call it the most important work any of us will ever do. If this touched something in you, sit with it. Share it with someone you love. If you enjoy the content on this channel, please like the videos and subscribe to get regular updates. And do share the videos you like with others who may find them useful.